Chosen one. You have arrived here just as the light foresaw. Listen closely. Here is something most people will not tell you. The strongest souls don't announce themselves with words. They announce themselves with presence. And when someone unprepared catches even a glimpse of that kind of spiritual magnitude, it doesn't just make them uncomfortable. It rewires their entire nervous system in ways they cannot explain. Scientists have documented how the human body responds identically to two completely opposite experiences: fear and awe. Same racing heart, same shortness of breath, same rush of adrenaline. But here is the difference. Fear depletes you while awe transforms you. Now picture this. Someone encounters you, a chosen one, and for just a moment they perceive your true spiritual capacity. Not your appearance or credentials, but the raw voltage of your soul. It is like staring directly at the sun. They weren't equipped for that level of exposure. Most people walk through life expecting to meet competence, charm, maybe even brilliance. But genuine spiritual strength exists in a category all its own. It doesn't broadcast itself on social media. It doesn't require validation. It certainly doesn't come with any warning signs. They assumed you were ordinary. They had no idea you carry the kind of internal force that makes insecure people break into a cold sweat without understanding why. You said nothing threatening. You made no aggressive moves. Yet they felt something that made their hidden weaknesses rise to the surface like oil on water. And here is what makes it beautiful. While they are scrambling to understand why your mere presence destabilized them, you are just standing there completely at ease, wondering why they look like they have encountered something otherworldly. The truth is, they have. They just didn't realize what they were seeing was their own fragile identity being exposed by the light of your spirit. Number one. Your presence revealed the fragility they have masked for years. When they glimpsed your spiritual strength, something fundamental shifted inside them. This wasn't a gentle awakening. It was an abrupt shattering of illusions they had spent years carefully constructing. They have invested considerable energy building an image of themselves as confident, capable, and unshakable. They have worked hard, maintaining appearances while secretly covering cracks in their foundation. But the moment they stood in your energy field, the truth of their actual condition began seeping through every gap they tried to seal. What intensified their discomfort is that you weren't actively trying to expose them. You weren't analyzing them or setting tests. Your spirit simply operates in truth, and truth naturally dismantles anything constructed on deception. That is what shook them. The slow burning realization that someone has seen past their carefully crafted exterior into the uncertain person beneath it. For someone whose entire self-worth depends on maintaining that exterior, this feels existential. Your strength didn't overpower them. It revealed them. That is infinitely more threatening. When someone is attacked, they can mount a defense. When someone is truly seen, there is nowhere to hide. Nothing to fight against, no way to cover it back up without admitting what lies beneath. Their extreme reaction to you wasn't about fighting you, it was about fighting the reflection of themselves you accidentally held up for them. That glimpse was devastating. For you, it is simply how you exist. No pretense, no adjusting your truth to accommodate others' comfort levels. You have done the work. You have endured the kind of trials that strip everything away and rebuild you into something unshakable. That is why your presence carries weight. Not negativity, but substance. They are accustomed to being around people with hollow foundations. You are solid. They walked away from that encounter feeling strangely exhausted, disturbed, perhaps even angry, without clear reasoning. But somewhere deep inside, they understood. You didn't just show them who you are, you showed them who they are not. For some people, that is unbearable. Number two, they recognized you possess power beyond their manipulation. When they encountered your spiritual magnitude, they immediately realized you have access to something they cannot bend, exploit, or control. They have spent most of their existence in environments where influence means knowing which psychological buttons to push. They understand manipulation mechanics perfectly. How to flatter someone into submission. How to leverage guilt for compliance. How to feed someone's ego just enough to maintain control. It is a game they have mastered, and for a long time, it has worked on nearly everyone. But with you, that game ended before it started. They couldn't establish any leverage because the power animating you isn't connected to flattery, approval, or fear. You don't operate in the currencies they trade. Your strength originates from a source that cannot be negotiated with, purchased, or deactivated by external forces. That is the source of their frustration. They found themselves standing before someone who doesn't respond to their usual mechanisms. Not because you are stubborn, but because your internal navigation system doesn't accept external commands. The energy you embody isn't plugged into their system, so they cannot access it. They cannot exploit your insecurities because you have already confronted them. They cannot tempt you with superficial rewards because you are not hungry for what they consider valuable. They cannot intimidate you with threats because you know where your protection originates. And that is what disturbs them most profoundly. You operate from a foundation they cannot even perceive, much less influence. They are used to people either resisting until worn down or capitulating immediately under sufficient pressure. But you don't resist in the manner they expect. You don't meet manipulation with force. You simply don't engage with it at all. It is like throwing a rope to someone who never caught it because they were never standing where you assumed. That moment of recognition stung. If they cannot influence you, they cannot control the narrative surrounding you. And if they cannot control that narrative, they cannot protect the image they have constructed. That represents their ultimate defeat. Number three, your energy compelled their shadows to surface. Your presence accomplished something words never could. It forced what they have buried to rise into view. They have spent years concealing bitterness, envy, insecurity, and hidden malice beneath layers of charm, courtesy, or false modesty. Around most people, they maintain control over these shadows. But near you, that control dissolved, and the parts they have tried to hide began spilling out. This wasn't because you confronted or accused them. It is simply how your spirit functions. Your energy is pure, and purity exposes impurity. The atmosphere around you refuses to support pretense. Without any conscious effort, you strip away disguises because your spirit will not harmonize with falsehood. When that happens, people feel uncomfortable in ways they cannot articulate. They become defensive, agitated, or excessively critical of you, never realizing that what actually bothers them is the reflection of themselves they are suddenly confronting. Most people can carry their shadows quietly if no one's light is intense enough to disturb them. But your light doesn't gently illuminate, it penetrates corners. And what hides there resists exposure. It fights back. It scrambles to protect the identity constructed around it, because once hidden motives are visible, the carefully maintained image cannot survive. What makes this harder for them is they cannot logically explain their reaction to you. They just know being around you feels destabilizing, so they start projecting, possibly accusing you of superiority or self-righteousness, when reality shows they are simply reacting to what your clarity reveals about their own condition. The demons they have suppressed don't want to be seen, and your light refuses to let them hide.
Chosen one, you have arrived here just as the light fades. Listen closely. There is a question that has been haunting the corners of your mind, a pattern you have noticed but were too humble to name. Why does the atmosphere shift the moment you walk into a room? Why do conversations die down when you enter? Why do people who are loud and confident around others suddenly become fidgety, avoidant, or strangely aggressive when you are near? You have spent years internalizing this. You told yourself you were awkward. You told yourself you were unlikable. You told yourself you were the problem. You were wrong. What you are witnessing is not social awkwardness. It is biological terror. We need to strip away the polite lies of society and look at the raw mechanics of the soul. When a prey animal spots a predator in the tall grass, it does not analyze the predator's outfit. It does not judge the predator's personality. It freezes, its heart races, its nervous system screams, "Danger!" Chosen one, whether you realize it or not, to the false, the fake, and the hidden. You are the predator. You are a hunter of truth. And for people who have built their entire empires on lies, your presence is a death threat. This is the biological alarm. Science tells us that the human body responds identically to two opposing forces: fear and awe, the racing heart, the shortness of breath, the spike in adrenaline. It feels the same. When ordinary people encounter your spiritual magnitude, their nervous system malfunctions. They are not equipped for your voltage. They are used to low-frequency interactions, gossip, small talk, social posturing. Then you walk in. You carry a raw, unedited spiritual electricity. It is like staring directly at the sun. For a moment, their masks slip. Their biological alarm bells start ringing. They feel exposed, naked, and seen. And here is the controversial truth. The human body cannot lie. Their mouths might smile at you. Their words might be polite. But their spirit is trembling. Why? Because you are a living MRI machine. You don't even have to speak. You don't have to judge them. You don't have to accuse them of anything. You just have to stand there. Your frequency naturally penetrates their walls. You bypass their carefully constructed avatars and touch the scared, fragile ego hiding underneath. Imagine how terrifying that is for them. They have spent decades building a fortress to hide their insecurities, their malice, and their secrets. And then you show up, and your light shines right through the brickwork. They lung crunch, avoid your eyes, because they know you know. Even if you haven't said a word, they feel the weight of your knowing. So, tonight, As you lay your head down, stop apologizing for making people uncomfortable. You are not responsible for their demons trembling in your presence. You are not responsible for the fact that your reality destroys their illusions. You are simply the light. And the only thing that hates the light is something that needs the dark to survive. Rest now in this power. You are not rejected. You are just too real. Breathe. Let the air fill your lungs, heavy with the weight of revelation. Now, we enter the operating room. We are going to dissect the exact moment their power over you died. We are going to analyze the 7 ways your spirit dismantles their ego without you lifting a finger. This is not a battle. This is a demolition. Number 1, the unmasking. You have noticed it. When you look at them, they flinch. They look away. Why? Because you possess the terrifying ability to see the unfinished person beneath the polished avatar. Most people accept the mask. Most people play along with the charade. But you are a walking X-ray. You don't just see their clothes or their job title. You see the scared child hiding in the basement of their soul. You see the cracks in the foundation they have spent 40 years painting over.
This is not a skill you learned. It is a frequency you emit. When they stand before you, their disguise evaporates. They feel spiritually naked. And there is nothing more dangerous to a person living a lie than a person who can see the truth without trying. They hate you because you force them to feel the draft in their own house. You are the mirror they cannot shatter. Number 2, the immunity. This is where their computer crashes. These entities are master coders of human emotion. They know which buttons to press. They know the code for guilt. They know the code for flattery. They know the code for fear. For years, they have programmed everyone around them to jump when they say jump. But then, they met you. They ran the code. They tried the guilt trip. They tried the love bombing. They tried the silent treatment. And you stood there, unmoved, unbothered, glitching their entire system. Your immunity is offensive to them. It is not just that you didn't react. It's that their currency has no value in your country. You don't trade in validation. You don't trade in fear. When a manipulator realizes their remote control doesn't work on the television, they don't fix the remote. They smash the television. That is why they attacked you. Not because you were weak, but because you were the first device that refused to receive their signal. Number 3, the shadow mirror. We must speak on the phenomenon of spontaneous toxicity. You have wondered why perfectly normal people turn into monsters when you walk into the room. You have wondered, why are they so mean to me, but so nice to everyone else? This is the shadow mirror effect. Your spirit is pure light, and physics dictates that when a bright light hits a dirty room, the dirt becomes visible. Your presence forces their demons to surface. They cannot keep their shadow self in the cage when you are near, because your vibration unlocks the door. You make them feel their own envy. You make them feel their own malice. You act as a spiritual emetic, forcing them to vomit up the darkness they have been swallowing for years. They blame you for the mess. They say, you bring out the worst in me. Correct, you do. But not because you are creating it, because you are exposing it. You are the exorcist who didn't even bring a Bible. You just brought yourself. Number 4, the scale of destiny. Here is the existential dread they feel when they look at you. They are playing for trophies. You are playing for eternity. They are obsessed
with the neighborhood. You are obsessed with the kingdom. When they stand next to you, the contrast is blinding. Their ambitions, their office politics, their social climbing, their petty rivalries, suddenly look like toys in a sandbox. You carry the weight of a calling. You carry the gravity of destiny. And deep down, even if they are atheists, even if they are asleep, their soul recognizes the size of your assignment. It makes them feel small. It makes their life feel trivial. They try to belittle you, to bring you down to their size, but it's like a pebble trying to insult a mountain. The scale is simply different. You are building a cathedral while they are arguing over a sandcastle, and they know it. Number 5. The intrinsic authority. Let's talk about the source of power. Their power is rented. It comes from their title, their bank account, their followers, or their relationship status. If the world crashed tomorrow, they would be bankrupt. Your power is intrinsic. It is woven into your DNA. It is etched into your spirit. You could lose your job, your house, and your reputation tomorrow, and you would still walk into a room and command attention. You would still be the king or queen in rags. This infuriates them. They have spent their whole lives buying power, and you were born with it. They perceive that you have an internal engine that doesn't need their fuel. You are self-sourcing. You are plugged into the divine mainframe. They are terrified because they know that while they can steal your resources, they can never, ever steal your source. Number 6. The narrative shield. They have tried to destroy you with words. They have held meetings. They have whispered in corners. They have crafted elaborate stories to paint you as the villain, the crazy one, the difficult one. And yet, look at you. You are still standing. This is the narrative shield. There is a spiritual law that states truth has a frequency. When they lie about you, the words feel heavy. They taste like ash in people's mouths. Even the people listening to the gossip feel a subconscious check in their spirit. They might nod along, but they don't truly believe it. Your energy is a living testimony that contradicts their script. You don't need to defend yourself. You don't need to go on a press tour to clear your name. Your character is the defense attorney. Your presence is the closing argument. They are throwing mud at a diamond. It slides off. And in the end, they are the ones left with dirty hands. Number 7. The violent calm. Finally, the weapon they fear the most. Your peace. To a chaotic mind, peace is not comforting. Peace is an insult. When they are spinning in tornadoes of drama and you are standing in the eye of the storm, completely still, it feels like a judgment. Your calmness is violent to their demons. They want you to scream. They want you to cry. They want you to grapple in the mud with them. But you refuse. You offer them the violent calm. You look at their chaos with the detached curiosity of a scientist observing a bacteria. You don't engage. You don't absorb. This silence screams louder than any argument. It tells them, you cannot touch me. You cannot move me. I am anchored in deep waters where your storm cannot reach. This is the ultimate humiliation for the ego. To be utterly, totally irrelevant to the person you are trying to destroy. So as you sleep tonight, let these 7 truths settle in your marrow. You didn't break them. You just refused to be broken. You didn't attack them. You just turned on the lights. Rest now, unmasked and unafraid. We have dismantled their ego. Now we must map the distance between your soul and theirs. This is not a gap. It is a spiritual displacement. You have moved to a continent where their passport is not valid. You have ascended to an altitude where their lungs cannot breathe. Let us count the final 7 seals that separate the sleeper from the chosen. Number 8. The fearless walk. This is the trait that confuses them the most. Look at what rules their lives. They are governed by the God of opinion. They are terrified of being cancelled. They are terrified of being alone. They are terrified of losing their status. They are slaves to the collective fear of the tribe. And then there is you. You walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and you don't even flinch. You quit jobs without a backup plan because you trust your source. And you end relationships that everyone else envies because you value your peace. You speak truths that would get others exiled. To a person living in a cage, a bird flying freely is not an inspiration. It is an insult. Your lack of fear feels like arrogance to them. They think, who do you think you are to walk so tall? You are not arrogant. You are liberated. You have realized that the lions they fear are just paper tigers. You have realized that the opinions of sheep do not matter to the shepherd. This fearless walk makes you dangerous because you cannot be controlled. A person who is not afraid of loss is a person who cannot be blackmailed by the world. Number 9. The delusion breaker. And they have spent years rebranding their toxicity as strength. They call their manipulation intelligence. They call their cruelty dominance. They call their emotional walls stoicism. They wear their darkness like a designer suit, thinking it makes them powerful. But you possess the light of reality. When you step into the room, their strength is revealed for what it truly is: trauma. You look at their manipulation and you see a toddler throwing a tantrum. You look at their cruelty and you see a wounded animal lashing out. You look at their coldness and you see fear. You strip the glamour away from their sin. This is why they hate you. You refuse to applaud their costume. You refuse to play along with the delusion that they are the alpha. Your presence quietly whispers the truth they are running from. You are not a wolf. You are just a hurt dog biting everyone who tries to pet you. You broke their delusion not by fighting them, but by pitying them. And to the ego, pity is worse than hate. Number 10. The divine force field. They have tried to touch you. They have tried to curse you. They have thrown hexes, bad vibes, and prayer traps at your name. And yet, here you are, blooming. This is the divine force field. They are slowly realizing that you have mob protection from the Most High. There is a perimeter around your life that incinerates their arrows before they even land. They create a plot to destroy your reputation, and it backfires and destroys theirs. They dig a pit for you, and they fall into it. They try to steal your blessing, and they lose their own. It is terrifying for them to watch. They are realizing that fighting you is like fighting gravity. It is a law of physics they cannot break. You are walking with a security detail that is invisible to the naked eye, but undeniable to the spirit. They are hitting a glass wall. They are realizing that you are not just lucky, you are sanctioned. The universe has marked you as do not touch, and the penalty for touching you is swift. Number 11. The standard. Let's talk about the price of admission. They are used to people who sell out. They are used to people who compromise their morals for a paycheck, or for attention, or for a night of pleasure. They live in the bargain bin of the soul. But you are full price. You refuse to lower your frequency to fit into their radio station. You refuse to laugh at jokes that aren't funny. You refuse to gossip just to bond. You refuse to date people who don't honor God. Your refusal to be mediocre makes their compromise look cheap. When you stand in your integrity, it highlights their corruption. You are the diamond that makes the cubic zirconia look dull. They want you to lower your standard so they don't feel so bad about how low theirs is. But you won't do it. You would rather be alone at the top than crowded at the bottom. This standard is a silent judgment. It tells them, I value myself too much to participate in your dysfunction. And that rejection burns hotter than fire. Number 12. The restless spirit. Have you noticed they can't sit still around you? They fidget, they check their phones, they talk too much, they drink too much. This is spiritual agitation. Your spirit is a pool of still water. Their spirit is a storm.
When a storm meets still water, the storm looks chaotic. Your peace acts as a tuning fork. It vibrates at a frequency of rest. But because they are vibrating at a frequency of chaos, your presence causes dissonance in their bones. They literally cannot relax near you because your silence is too loud. In the silence, they can hear their own demons screaming. They need noise to drown it out. You are the quiet room where they can't hide from themselves. So they run. They leave the room. They leave the relationship. Not because you did anything wrong, but because your peace feels like an interrogation room to a guilty conscience. Number 13. The locked door. This is the most controversial shift of all. For years, you were an open door. You let everyone in. You were the nice one. But recently, the door locked.
They can see you through the window. They can see you happy. They can see you thriving. But they cannot get in. They realize there is a VIP section of your soul that is permanently closed to people who do not have the clearance codes of loyalty and honor. This drives the entitled spirit insane. They feel they own access to you. They think because they knew you in high school, or because they are family, or because they dated you, they have a lifetime pass. Access denied. You have realized that access to your energy is a privilege, not a right. You have erected a boundary that is not made of anger, but of indifference. You simply do not let them affect you anymore. They are banging on the glass, screaming for your attention, but the glass is soundproof. You are eating at the table prepared for you in the presence of your enemies. And you didn't even set a plate for them. Number 14, the becoming. And finally, the terror of the future. They are scared because they are smart enough to realize one thing. This is just the warm-up. They look at you now, and they see the power you have. But they also sense the momentum. They know you are just getting started. They know you are in the chrysalis phase. If you are this formidable now, what will you be in 5 years? What will you be when you fully step into your anointing? What will you be when God trusts you with the full weight of your glory? They are witnessing the birth of a titan. They see the trajectory. You are moving up. They are moving sideways. The gap is widening every single day. They are terrified because they know a day is coming when you will be so far out of their reach that they won't even be able to see your taillights. They are witnessing a supernatural evolution. You are not just changing, you are becoming the person they were warned about. You are becoming the person they could have been if they had chosen courage over comfort. So, Let them tremble. Let them wonder. You are not doing this to hurt them. You are doing this to save yourself. The displacement is necessary. The separation is holy. You are not leaving them behind. You are simply moving to the place where you belong. And they are staying exactly where they chose to be. The diagnosis is complete. The autopsy of the dynamic is finished. You now hold the medical records of your own power. We have reached the final moment of the night, the moment where you stop analyzing them and start authorizing yourself. For years, you have carried a heavy burden. You have carried the guilt of being too much. You have apologized for your intensity. You have tried to dim your light because you saw them squinting. You shrank yourself to fit into rooms that were built for pygmies. That ends tonight. Hear this final decree. Their discomfort is not your crime. It is your confirmation. If they are nervous around you, it is because their demons are unsettled. If they are intimidated by you, it is because their ego recognizes a superior frequency. Do not dare apologize for the voltage you carry. Do not dare lower your standard to make a liar feel comfortable. The world is drowning in copies. The world is suffocating in politeness and pretense. The world is starving for an original. It needs a soul brave enough to be ruthlessly real. It needs someone who is not afraid to be the bad guy in a villain's story. It needs someone who is willing to be the earthquake that shatters the false foundations. If your presence causes a crisis in their life, let the crisis happen. If your truth destroys their illusion, let it burn. You were not sent here to keep the peace. You were sent here to bring the sword of truth. You were not designed to be a gentle breeze that everyone likes. You were designed to be the storm. A storm does not apologize for the rain. A storm does not ask permission to thunder. It simply exists. It clears the air. It washes away the filth. And it leaves the world cleaner than it found it. So accept your nature. Let them tremble. Let them gossip. Let them run. Their fear is the highest form of respect they are capable of giving. You are dangerous to the darkness. And that is exactly what God created you to be. Now, we must seal this revelation in the spiritual atmosphere. I need you to sign your name on this new reality. Do not just think it, command it. Go to the comments and leave your mark. Type, I am the storm. Tell the universe that you are done shrinking. Tell the enemy that the forecast has changed. The alarm has sounded. The sleepers are waking up. And you are the eye of the hurricane. Rest now in the beautiful, terrifying safety of your own power.